1107, Chapter 10, Section 4. This deals with installment buying, which basically deals with installment loans. First type of installment loan is a fixed installment loan. This is where your interest rate is fixed and they figure out your payment per month, and your payment doesn't change. An open-end installment loan is one like your credit cards, where your minimum payment can change because it's based on the balance that you have for that day. Credit rating is a very important thing in terms of installment loans. Annual percentage rate, APR, is something that the government requires that loan institutions give you. Finance charge is your percent that you're going to pay to borrow the money. And this is the installment payment formula, where M is the installment payment, P is the principal amount that you're financing, R is your annual percentage rate, N is the number of payments per year, and then T is time in years. So this is a formula that's used to, if you ever buy a car, furniture, or things like this, this is the formula that's used to find this payment. Here's an example problem. This is example 1 on page 593. It says Kristen wishes to purchase a new window blinds for her house at a cost of $1,500. The home improvement store has an advertised finance option of no down payment and 6% APR for 24 months. Determine the finance charge. All right, and so what's going to happen here is we're going to go to this table here, okay, and because it's 6% for 24 months, then what we're going to do is we're going to come here at the 24 and come over here at 6%, which is $6.37 per $100. So what happens here is we take that $6.37 from the chart that we got and multiply times the 24. And so what's going to happen here is that, if you read here, it says Table 10.2 gives the finance charge per $100 of the amount financed. The table shows that the finance charge per $100 for 24 months is 6% is $6.37. Because Kristen is financing $1,500, the number of hundreds dollars financed is 1,500 divided by 100, which is 15. So we're going to take that $6.37 multiplied by 15, and we get a payment of $95.55. It says determine Kristen's monthly payment. Well, in order to determine Kristen's monthly payment, we have to take this $95.55 and we have to add it to the $1,500. So Kristen's really paying $1,595.55. We then take that total and divide by 24. We find out that her payment is $66.48 per month. This is basically how they figure out car payments and then, like I said, any other big time purchases. Here's another way. You can use the formula here. I was using the table. It says use the installment payment formula to determine Kristen's monthly payment. Remember the information that we had. She's borrowing $1,500 for 24 months at 6% interest. Okay. And so what happens is that, remember, N represents the number of payments per year. So if we divide 24 by 12, we find out that we're in 2 years. Okay. So we substitute all those numbers into the formula, and incidentally, there's the formula there. Okay. Then we do the math, we find out we get $6.48, which is exactly the same number that we got previously when we used the chart. This is the actuary method for unearned interest. Okay. And when we talk about the actuary method for unearned interest, U represents the unearned interest, N represents the number of remaining monthly payments, P represents monthly payment, and V represents the value from the APR table. Okay? And so make sure you understand that in this formula here, this is where we're trying to calculate the remaining payment that is left if you want to pay it off. Okay? So here's what happens. All right? Let's look at example 4 first. Okay, it says Tino borrowed $9,800 to purchase a classic 1966 Ford Mustang. He does not recall the APR of the loan, but remembers that there are 48 payments of $237. If he did not make a down payment on the car, determine the APR. Well, it's pretty easy. Take 237 times 48, because that's how many payments he has, minus $9,800, because that's the price of the car. So any difference between that is going to be the interest that it's paying. And so he's got $1,576, so he's going to pay $1,576 in interest over 48 months. If you take that and then divide by the 9,800, you find out that he's paying 16%. It says next find 48 payments in the left-hand column of Table 2. So if we back over here to Table 2, so we're looking for 48 payments. Okay. If we then follow this over to 7.5% interest, we find out that it's 16.06 per month. So it says next find 48 payments in the column, which we did. Move over till we go to 7.5%, and basically what happens is we got 7.5% interest. Okay. Coming over here, so this is a continuation. This is an example 4. We determined the APR of Tino's loan to be 7.5%. Instead of making his 30th payment of his 48 payment loan, Tino wishes to pay his remaining balance and to terminate the loan. Use the actuary method to determine how much interest Tino will save the unearned interest by repaying the loan early. All right, so we're going to use that formula. And remember, in terms of this, N represents the number of remaining monthly payments. So if he's made the 30th payment, he's got 18 payments left. Okay. Remember that P represents the monthly payment, which was $237. Remember, V represents value from the APR table, which we already figured out, which was $6.04. And then the $100 is there. So if we do the math, we find out that with the remaining payments, he's going to save $242.99. Okay. Part B says, what is the total amount due to pay off the loan early on the day he makes his final payment? Well, take 18 times 237, you get 4,266. And what happens is, excluding his monthly payment, so you take that $242.99 away, and then you take a payment of $237, which will terminate the loan, and you got $4,260.01 left to pay. Okay, just to mention this, you're not going to have to do too many problems in terms of working with credit cards and stuff. You should look at the example problems. I'm not going to go over them, but there are 2 different types of methods that credit cards figure, or I should say open-end installment loans figure out their balance and their payments. One is called the previous balance method, and this is charged interest on the previous balance from the previous charge period. So what happens is you're charged interest from the balance of your card from the last month. The one that's more fair to consumers is the average daily balance, okay? And this is where they charge you interest on the balance. The balance is determined each day of the billing period for which that there is a transaction in the account. This is why most credit cards, if you have a zero balance, let's say you use your credit card to buy, a $50 item. When you get your credit card bill for that first month, if you pay that $50 off, you're not charged interest, because they're not allowed to charge you interest until the next billing cycle. So this is where your minimum payment, if you've ever noticed on your credit cards, it builds up because the interest is calculated based on any transactions you have per day. So as you make more transactions, they're allowed to charge interest on all those transactions, unless they're paid off in the first month.